3 wins on the bounce for Harriers, first time this season. The lads had to put in a hard shift to get the 3 points today.
Really tough. It was really a difficult fixture. We talked about the challenges at the start of the campaign, and I've got to keep going back to it. Against Altrincham in the cup, when I was present in the stand, to get a clean sheet in that game showed a lot of resilience, and there was something about the team that I quite liked. And then to get through that penalty shootout, the penalty situation at the end of it, they showed a lot of character. So we knew we had something in the change room, and you've got to just try and make that change room believe. And I think it's slowly but surely coming. What we believe in though, what are we believing? Are we believing that it's going to be a scrap every game? Absolutely. Do we want to play better football? Absolutely. Will the opposition allow us to play better football? Probably not. It's the National League to a T. All 3 games have been totally different in my opinion. I think it's been a second ball game today. We won a fair share of second balls, and consequently we had enough quality in the final third. They had enough opportunities. They got plenty of ball into our penalty box, but I can't think of the goalkeeper making too many saves. We got bodies on the line. We asked the defenders to put their bodies on the line. We asked the midfield 4 to work towards the second ball scenario, and if we can get 66% of that, which we did, we would be playing second balls more than what they would be. But we asked, more importantly, the front 3 to put a shift in, and I think they did. I think Gold is a big lad, and everybody you're drawn to the fact that he's a giant. He's a enormous stature, and he won't be able to run as quick or as long as anybody else, but he does. He puts his shift in, but he's very, very ably abetted, shall we say, by by Amari and by Jack. And I think the work rate of the front 3 sort of emphasised what we were all about today.
As you say, defensively, but again, you have a look at the performance overall, and Dagenham were creating opportunities, but not clear-cut opportunities.
No, I think that we're getting into areas where a little bit of quality coming into the penalty box might have resulted in the ball being in the back of our net. But again, I'm talking about people putting their bodies on the line. If somebody drops a clanger, if somebody makes a mistake, the man next to him is stepping up to the plate. It's the team spirit is just, it's brilliant at the moment. And when you win your games of football, it's time to grow your team spirit. But they had something before we arrived. Me and Macca looked at the results, and they were getting pipped by a goal every game. If they were in front, they were getting pipped by an equaliser towards the end of a game. So they had something, and we sounded it out. In the first week of training, we heard a lot of noise in the change room. So there was a lot of, I think, opinions, shall we say. It's getting them opinions in line with what the management want you to do. And if we do go on the pitch doing the same things, then we've got a better chance of winning games than losing them.
The goal came from an unlikely source, should we say. Kelly Richards doesn't get very many, but it must have been delightful for you to see him up supporting the attack and finishing the way he did. We've
asked the wing backs to contribute. You can't ask for any more contribution in terms of goals and assists than what Ash Hemmings is doing. If it comes from the left hand side, then we've got both sides of the pitch taken care of. Today was all about a little bit of quality in a moment in the game that I thought was coming for either side. It could have fell to them, it could have fell to us. It fell to us, and luckily enough it fell to the right guy. For me, Caleb's got a good technique. I always get drawn to left footers. I'm one of them, like, wow, why is he doing this? Why is he doing it? Because of the left foot. It's just an attraction that I've got, because predominantly I didn't have a left foot, I had a right foot. So I get drawn towards it, and to see the finish, it was a crisp finish, and right behind it, where we were in the dugout, it was just lovely to see it nestled in the top corner. And right behind the goal was the Kiddie fans. So again, a special mention to them. I mean, travelling 4.5, 5 hours on Tuesday night, and then travelling 4 hours to get across here, I thought it was a lot closer. I'm going to have a look at the map of England again, and just to see exactly where Kidderminster is. Somebody told me it was the middle of Birmingham, so I honestly thought everywhere would be 2 hours. It's not, and I'm travelling all over the place. But so are the players. On a serious note, the players have not just done the yards, the hard yards on the pitch, they've done the hard yards on the road as well. And we're not a Premier League team that can afford overnight stays at the moment. We're just travelling on the day. And again, that team that performed today have travelled on the day on Tuesday night, didn't get back in their beds till 3-4 o'clock in the morning, then travelled again today. They'll get a good night's kip today, and hopefully they'll have a nice Sunday with their families, and then Monday back to the grindstone in time for a home game next weekend against one of our rivals. So we're looking forward to it already.
How much importance are you going to place on that one? Obviously it's against Oxford. You know, a couple of weeks later you have Dorking. They're games that, you know, perhaps take on greater importance given the positions in them.
It probably takes on greater importance, I would imagine, to supporters. It would take on greater importance to the people of Kidderminster, I would imagine. But where we're concerned, it's just another 90 minutes and it's just another game. It is against a rival, we understand that. But what we've got to focus on is what can Oxford throw at us. What's their strengths? What's their weaknesses? And can we exploit them? But again, I think you could say the only disappointing thing, if there is such a thing when you've won 3 games on the bounce in a week, would be that we've not caught the next one. But there's the challenge, you know. The challenge will always be to catch the next one. We inherited the team in the bottom of the league. When I was second bottom, I thought there might have been a possibility of being third bottom tonight, but it's not the case. So we're back to the grindstone and hard week's work on the training ground and see if we can catch the next one.
It just goes to show how close the National League is, though.
Yeah, very much so. We're not talking playoffs, mind. We're just talking about survival here, and we get to a figure that we think will survive. But it's just slowly, you know, we'll catch a second one, we'll catch a third one, hopefully catch a fourth one in time before the end of the season.
Manager will get a good night's sleep tonight as well.
Absolutely, I'll have a beer and I'll celebrate tonight. Not an easy place to come to, let me tell you. I know 9 teams, I think they've lost 9 home games. That's the 10th home game that they've lost, and it's a good surface, by the way. It's probably the best surface that we've played on. Better than ours to a certain extent, a little bit harder. But if you want to play football and get it down, you can play on there. I remember being Southend manager. This was a local rival, if you like, but we used to play games behind closed doors, and you always get a good reception here. And you get a good surface. We just didn't play enough football today when we had the opportunity. But that will come. It will grow with confidence, and hopefully that growth in confidence produces better performances.
Phil, thank you.